Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason DeRoss.
Yes, you
It's
are.
Monday.
It's Monday. You have new headphones. I'm like so freaking proud of you. Like I can't even contain the excitement and pride I have. And because I had a sense probably in the back of my mind that you were coming with a really strong vibe, I didn't wear any makeup and I'm being really brave.
Courageous. Although I don't think it's. I was going to put makeup on this morning because my cheeks have decided that today's rosacea day. It's out there.
Listen, as
I'm pink.
someone who also has rosacea, you need to moisturize, and I don't think that you're moisturizing, and I don't know if I have the energy to like start fighting with you about something I already know about.
I'm not going to fight. I'm not. I'm here for it. Everyone, and Jameson said everyone looks goddamn beautiful. People are loving the headphones. People think it's all great.
No,
And the headphones were just the cheapest ones I could find. So they actually came like last Thursday, but I didn't want to take them out of the box because I was like,
can I tell you
COVID.
something? So, um, okay, your lighting situation. This is the best you've ever looked. I think there's a massive lag on my behalf that I'm like not excited or happy about. But you're kind of matching me
Well, for once, it's happening.
in lighting quality. You look great.
Sick. We're doing it.
Mahalo.
I think it's we've just adjusted the lighting here because it's
No,
too dark and things were
looks
happening that weren't supposed to be happening.
it looks great. I have to say.
Sick. Well, great, because I feel like you know, I need a haircut. I need to I've been inside for so long. This is our start of our 6th week
6 weeks.
doing this
We have
together.
been doing this 6 weeks. We thought it was going to be what? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. Although the whole time we're like, I think I even said it on the pod, I'm like, I apologize to my future self who was like, definitely knows it's going to be way more than 2 weeks. And now we're living it. Now we're here 6 weeks later.
6 weeks later.
It's
It's insane.
insane.
It's insane. I
But it
can't.
also, what else happened over the weekend
What happened over the weekend?
for us?
Well, well, you got new headphones, obviously. Can
I
I
got new
tell
headphones.
you?
We also got an official URL, everybody. Ooh, champagne
Ooh,
time.
champagne. We're popping the champs. Huge news on our part. We officially, Jason's popping the champies. Um,
Bam, 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 bam.
we have an official URL. You can tell your friends about it. You can, well, you're here, so I'm assuming you're subscribed. But we have an official URL, youtube.com/the regulars.
So now subscribe if you haven't. Like, it'll help us out too,
Oh
and then
yeah.
we'll just have a great
We're,
time.
we are, some of us 34, some of us 44.
Guess which one's
Guess which
which?
one's which. But regardless of age, we are asking you all to like and subscribe. Like we're 14. And I've never felt more proud of a milestone. And we needed it. No jokes aside, I texted Jason. How excited was I? I was losing my mind.
It's true. Well, we also I couldn't tell what was alcohol fueled or not too, because and not that it was. It's
From
just
my
Friday
one
was
gin
so
smash.
fun.
Oh, it was so fun.
Friday was so fun, and I don't know if Mr. Casual Friday will mind me saying this at all. But eventually he texted me the A&W order he actually got later on in the day.
Well, he also had an incredible tweet that said, well, now I know how long I can go without McDonald's, or how long I can go without A&W. 6 weeks.
Mhm.
So
It was just such a fun day. So everything was just
I was on a high from Friday. I've never laughed so hard in my life, to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can proceed professionally.
and I just realized I had lost my damn mind because I was like, I listened to it back afterwards, and I was like, we really were enjoying pregnant women farting and figuring out how to properly what the proper etiquette is, and that was our Friday.
It was hilarious to me.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
we have Bob Hunt just wanted to let us know his first time being live with this. So welcome, Bob.
Leslie says first time watching live. I finally caught up on the pods. And she got some merch. It's in the mail, allegedly. Leslie, thank you so much. So excited that you're here. Thank you so much. This is really exciting. No, I was really excited. I did text Jason and I said, hey, you should look at our Instagram channel because I made some Instagram stories I'm really proud of. And just like a good dad, he did watch them and say, good job. And that's all I needed to hear. But I can tell you about my weekend. And I think I got a new name after this weekend.
Okay.
So I entered the weekend as Stacy and I exited the weekend as Glutton Tina Turner. Glutina Turner. Let myself go.
I want to know where the Tina Turner thing is coming from.
Well, I was just walking the dogs and I was like, what's so funny? And I was just like, God, I was so gluttonous this weekend. And I was like, Glutina Turner. I gave myself my own nickname, but I
didn't know if like your clothes were just tattered to all hell. So you're just like Tina Turner and Mad Max or something.
I mean, I'm not dressed the best to celebrate a URL or we have hit over 200 episodes just in general, which is really fun. It's just a weekend of celebration. And I definitely don't think a denim onesie and a pandemic scarf is really the vibe. But I was Glutina Turner. I ate everything in sight.
Exactly the vibe.
Well, I started on Saturday, hanging with some pals on Zoom and things and doing the happy hour thing. Not good. Because it transitioned from like, what are you laughing about? You're frozen.
I'm going to be, I guarantee you within seconds, I'm going to be in the chat being like, help, because you're so pixelated and so frozen. I'm like, oh no, it's kicking me out.
I do want to point it out to everyone.
Am I frozen right now?
Yeah, for sure. You're a bit pixelated. Just to let everyone know, we are changing like programs, so this will be the last time there's like some glitches. You can always refresh, Jay. Give yourself the time to refresh.
Wow. If I refresh, I'm going to disappear. You're back now. We're back.
Okay, cool.
We're back.
So this weekend,
I can hear you.
So this weekend I had, it started with like an afternoon day drink. Okay. No big deal. Then it just proceeded into like different hangouts.
No big deal.
And on Sunday, dead to the world. Like I was dead. And then I also had Indian food on Saturday, which was delicious, but it ruined me. It was so good though. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then I had A&W on Sunday.
You had A&W as well?
And
was this
then
inspired by Casual Friday?
No, it was inspired by survival. I needed to
Brought
survive.
To you by survival.
And here's the thing. I love nothing more than like a dive bar. Like, oh my God. I love like just a shitty little dive bar and just some like gross beer. And
did you guys have a killer one in Alliston?
You know what? No, we didn't, because I'm sure we did, but like I went to university when I was like 18 and then I never really came back to like actively hang out there.
So you didn't explore to see if like that's, because it just feels like Alliston would be. I know Pickering had one and it's still open. This place called Jumbo Burger, I think it's still open.
Jumbo Burger.
Yeah.
Julie
like,
says
then someone tweeted it the other day and I was like, oh wow, in Pickering, but like people are treating it like it's legendary. And I'm like, I live down the street from that place. I think I went once in my life.
There's just nothing better than a dive bar. Like, I don't understand. I just don't understand why people wouldn't like want to dip a toe in a dive bar, Yeah. Yeah, they're great. And I miss them. Julie says she also misses gross bars. They're so fun. And so the hangover on it from a Zoom call is sadder than a hangover at a cool dive bar where you're like stumbling home going like, I'm gonna remember this night forever, and then you wake up and you're like, what happened?
Oh my God, that is 100% true because like we do like our pub trivia nights or whatever, but then you're like getting into it and then you realize that like everybody kind of goes, okay, that's it, I think. Okay. And then they log out and you're like, then you're just sitting on your couch and you're like,
I'm
I,
drunk.
I'm drunk. What
Well,
am I gonna do now?
have you ever done this? This is what I've been doing, which is sad. I don't recommend this to anybody. And I only did it, I haven't done it a lot, but like, like when you know those friends, and I think you and I are those friends to each other where you're like, we get one more. Let's go find a place. We'll have one more, right?
Well, 100%.
We're those people. But you can always find that person in a Zoom call and go like, hey, you want to have one more? And let me tell you, there's friends around. And that's even sadder that you keep it going.
I will say, so I don't know how much I should be talking about this, but on our pub trivia night, it always drops out, and then there's me and my wife and one other couple always left,
Yeah.
and then we stayed on.
You stay on and then you just have one more. And it's just so funny to me.
We found a fun game where it's like you have to like. I literally left my house while my wife was instructed to go through our kitchen and then make a drink out of whatever they could possibly make, and then when I came back, I had to drink it, which sounds stupid, but like
No, I'd be into it. Listen, I had a Netflix
It's
watch
delicious.
party. I had a Netflix watch party with friends where I was watching Nailed It on Netflix, which is so funny. And I was just like getting high and just watching that show and going, isn't this crazy? They're not going to be able to do it. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's hilarious.
Anyways, anyways, getting A&W out of survival because of like Zoom hangs is tough, right? And so I'm reeling. So I've got coffee today and Jason's got the champagne.
Yeah.
I know we talked
I
about
wasn't
it.
going to do this, but then I was
know.
like, we need to celebrate.
We need to
because
celebrate. We need to. What are you laughing at?
I just said we need to celebrate, and champagne went everywhere. But
Well, I
I'm
mean,
good.
listen, that was me Saturday night. I will tell you, for no one that asked, that daiquiri I made with that gin smash cooler, one of the best things I've ever had in my life.
Nice. Well, maybe we should put our recipe up online then and be like, this is what it is.
The regulars daiquiri, 1 can of gin smash, frozen tropical fruit, mix it, enjoy.
Hey, that's all you need.
Yeah. Jenny Cirillo says the A&W Renaissance in Toronto has been wonderful. It's true. You see them everywhere now. They're around more than McDonald's. And I love the Beyond Meat burger. I do. I do.
And Jameson put out the Bridge Tavern in Windsor, and just because it's called Bridge Tavern, I want to be there right now. Like to be able to walk into a tavern right now.
I know, so good. He says they had 75-cent beers in like a glass Dixie cup. So you could say you got drunk on 32 beers.
I've told you this story before, but I don't think I've actually mentioned it on the pod. I went to school in Calgary, and in Calgary at the time, like microbreweries were huge, and like beer was cheap from the microbreweries.
Yeah.
And someone in class was like, you go to this place Bermuda Triangles on Wednesdays, and it's penny beers. And I was like,
Whoa.
what? And so I went, and it's true. You have to they give you 2 cups when you walk in the door, and then you have to go give the 2 cups. But the guy in class was like, we don't actually give them the penny. They just have to do that for government to be like, they're not just giving you free beer. And I was like, okay. So I went up and I was like, this is crazy. This can't be true. And I put the beers down, and the guy filled up my cup and he gave it to me. I was like, thanks. And I went to walk away, and the guy goes, hey, 2 pennies. And I was like, oh, God damn it.
You didn't have pennies?
Oh, no, I paid. But I was like, I was in college at the time. And now that I say the story, I'm like, why didn't I tip? Because I'm like a good tipper at bars.
Yeah,
But
why
at
didn't
the
you do
same
that?
time, I think because the guy in class was just like, they're only asking for pennies for this. I was like, oh, and people just walk up and go, cool, beer, beer, beer. They're just like, it's a party.
No, it's freaking
Anyways,
pennies,
I really
dude.
messed up.
Well, that's fine. This one time I was like, out for drinks with a friend. I think I've said this before. And we got really drunk on very cheap, like martinis. It was like Martini Monday. And this was like when we were in university. So it was like sugar martinis. You know what I mean? Like whatever. And then I thought someone paid. We all thought each other had paid. And up we got, very wasted, on my friend's adult tricycle. And the guy was like, hey, hey. And I was
What?
like, what? You have questions?
Yeah, adult tricycle.
Yeah, she had an adult tricycle. It's like so cool.
And you were
And
going to fly by that part of the story because I think the rest of this podcast is talking about adult tricycles.
they're awesome. And we would
It's
just,
like a penny farther. It's like this is the way up and be like,
so it's like you have the main driver, and then there's two little spots for two people just to stand and like hold on to a shoulder.
no fucking way.
Yeah, man, it was sick.
If you don't think I'm going to be riding one of these the second the pandemic's over, you're crazy.
You break out of your house, Charlie and your wife go flying. You hop on an adult tricycle.
Charlie's going to be pedaling, and me and my wife will just be holding his shoulder, being like, "Go. We don't care where. Just go."
Just get out of here. I can't wait. I'm just wondering what I'm gonna do. It just feels like this is just it forever. You know?
Yeah.
We should also get into the fact that we got to watch one of the best movies ever created in all of the lands, and that is Dirty Dancing.
Which, like, this was a treat for my wife. But again, it wasn't on Netflix, so I'm just buying movies left and right. We should
Yeah,
just
I'm
pick
really
movies
sorry,
that are
everyone.
on
I
Netflix.
own it, so like that was no
I
problem.
think most people own this movie. I feel like this is like people have a few things in their life. Like you've got your ID, but you've also got a DVD of Dirty Dancing. Like everybody has it. It
I
feels
know.
like.
I know that Netflix, I think, was streaming it this Friday. I think we sort of missed the ship on that.
Well,
but like for those who
watched
watched it, like let us know when you want us to get into it because I'm ready to talk. It was on Canadian Netflix.
Do you know what I will say? I think
What?
this might be the first time I've watched that movie right through.
Okay,
I don't think I'd ever seen it before. I'd seen parts of it, but I don't think I've ever sat through that movie.
really.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of notes that I won't even need because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So
Well, I said something, yeah, and like I think it's a lot of people's favorite movies because I said something off the top of the movie, and my wife goes, "Don't you dare fucking ruin this movie for me." And I was like, "Okay, great."
well, here's also the thing. So I've been on, I was on the wonderful and amazing Auntie Donahue's podcast and talked about Dirty Dancing and kind of like, does it hold up? What's its vibe? And I also was on, I'm watching a movie, which is our lovely Mr. Conspiracy, Alex Kalenko and Alessandra Vite. They have a podcast. And I was on that podcast talking about Dirty Dancing. So I'm open to criticism because there is some to be had.
Well, so here's my question then to you.
Great.
Because this is what I asked my wife. I was like, well, because right away who's the blonde girl that Patrick Swayze you assume she's with off the top? He's with off the top.
What?
The girl that ends up
Peggy.
Peggy, I think's her name.
Peggy, yeah.
How old do you feel like the character Peggy's supposed
Okay,
to be?
here's the thing. The age, the biggest
That's my problem.
eye opener. Oh yeah, and Sloane was totally 16.
That's not what I mean. So, because I didn't even
Hey,
care. Like, it wasn't a
did
big
you
thing to
see
me.
me
I'm like,
changing
but I was like,
outside?
Well, how old is Patrick Swayze and Peggy?
Okay,
And my
so
wife goes, look, like 30. And I was like,
no.
so is this a story about a 30-year-old dancing with like a girl out
I
of high
think
school? And she's
they're-
like, don't.
I think the ages are vague, right? So from watching
They're
it, I'm
very
like,
vague.
I think he is supposed to, or Penny, sorry. We keep saying Peggy. It's Penny. Sorry.
It's Penny.
So the vague ages, like I think they're supposed to be in their 20s. And
And they're supposed to be the same age.
yeah. And they're
Because
best
he's got
friends.
a summer job up at a thing. And like, yeah, I get it. Okay.
So they're like
sense.
softly in their 20s. And I think that baby is softly 17. Supposed to be.
Because she's about to finish school and then she's going to go help
Right.
the Peace Corps.
So I think she's like 18-ish.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all great.
Now, in the scene where they're learning how to dance and we see them in their leotards, let me tell you, they push in 27, 28, 30.
Well, because when it was cutting to stuff like that, I was like watching it through the lens of like 30 and 17, and I'm like, and
He's
Jenny's
not
like,
30.
it's fine, it's fine. I'm like, he's got a girl up there, he's topless, and she's basically in her underwear, being like, when you start to look at it like that, like a 30-year-old being like, come on, you gotta get to it. And like when she's laughing because she's giggling like a 17-year-old would when you tickle her arm, he's like, oh, can't you be serious
Well,
here? Like I'm trying to be
actually,
sexy.
some little BTS on that scene. If you watch the
Okay.
How Did This Get Made or whatever it's called on Netflix, you get all this like behind the scenes of that movie. So Patrick Swayze like wasn't a huge fan of Jennifer Grey, and like to be quite honest, like from some of the stories, like you're thinking like, what was her vibe? Like she would demand a cheese plate.
She was great.
She'd be like, "I'm tired. I want a cheese plate," and I was like, "What? Okay."
What quote is this that Adam Colley put up there? Oh, you're 13. You're 13.
Is that from
Does
your
that happen
song?
in the movie?
Is
Did
that
I
from
miss
your
that
song?
part?
Is that from your song at Second City?
Oh, right. Maybe that's what
You're 13. Um, so
Oh yeah, that show I was supposed to be doing every week. That's
so
right.
that scene where he's like putting his arm where Patrick Swayze's like rubbing his hand down her, they were trying to get this was like the last shot of the day, and she was just like being a full nightmare, and he just wanted to get out of there. And so his frustration is like him just going, "Can we just get the shot?" And like that, they just kept
This
it
is
rolling.
McDonald's moment. This is a McDonald's commercial moment where
Right.
he's just like, that's great. When he's like,
And
oh fuck, and they're like, well, we're gonna use that take because that's great.
And the director of this movie was a documentary filmmaker, so he just kept the camera rolling. So you caught kind of special moments like that, like of him getting frustrated.
Her dancing at the first like across that bridge though, and like being Jennifer Grey get frustrated. I was like, that's Jennifer Grey, because like she does that in Ferris too, where she just like, ugh, like she throws a tantrum the best way any woman in the 80s could ever throw a tantrum.
She's super frenetic. I think that's the word to use. I'm turning into Jason, but I really love it. And this is why Jennifer Grey is the reason that I permed my hair at least 9 or 10 times.
Women, like I know that I shouldn't be making this about gender, but like girls loved this movie. They loved.
Of course
this
they
movie
do,
growing
because
up.
you know why? There's a bad boy. Okay. You're
But there's a
young.
bad boy that just wants her dad. He's not after sex. He's like, I just want your dad to like me, and I just want respect. And it's like, what are you talking?
Johnny
about?
Castle. Johnny Castle.
Yeah, Johnny Castle. And
He
Johnny
works
Castle,
hard.
also the perfect name.
Oh, Johnny Castle. I have yet to find a better name for a character. That Johnny Castle fully encapsulates Patrick Swayze's character. The hair,
I'd
the
be
Ray
Todd
Bans.
Moat.
You'd be Todd Moat. You know who you are? You're the boyfriend that they want her to hook up with.
That's exactly what I was thinking the entire movie.
Hi.
I knew we would talk about this, and I'm like,
Todd Moat.
100%. So, and she says,
Baby, why
because
don't
he
you
has
think?
2 hotels. I mean, I'm not bragging. That's what she said, not me.
Oh
so.
my God. You're so. I could just, a deleted scene is the mom just being like, honey, I don't know why you don't find a good man who could just take care of you. Have you thought about Todd Moat? And you're just, and then we pan to you, and you're just trying to spread cold butter on a piece of toast and just ruining the
His
toast.
father created moats. They're very well off.
Jameson says, did you know that Jennifer Grey and Matthew Broderick got together after Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then crazy sad stuff happened with them in Ireland right before Dirty Dancing was released? What happened?
It was, I don't know if we should, it's very sad.
Oh.
But it's also like kind of controversial because they say that Matthew Broderick killed somebody. So it's very bad.
I'm putting chapstick on, and then huge intel is given to me.
Well, because they said that he was, and I could have this wrong. Maybe Jameson, our fact checker, could. But he's like he got. I think they were drunk driving, and he was on the wrong side of the road, and they hit a car. And I believe somebody passed away on the others. I saw that once, and I was like, it was only like a year ago. I heard that story, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
But I think that might have happened. So maybe
That's
someone let me
wild.
know that I'm making shit up or not.
That's
I
crazy.
don't know.
Ooh, wow. Well, it's nice to know in some capacity that she got along with some co-stars, because in Dirty Dancing it was not the case.
They were brother and sister. They're Luke and Leia.
It was a car accident.
Maybe.
2 people, no alcohol, but bad weather, says Jameson.
Oh, okay.
Classic fact checker. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jameson.
maybe it was the gossip that went around like in high school. Did you hear he got in an accident? I heard he was drunk.
Well,
For
that's
sure
like
he
that
was drunk.
Richard Gere gerbil story.
Yeah,
Can
which is
you
fully true.
can you imagine being Richard Gere and the big rumor about? Here's the thing: found out
I'd play into it so bad.
if I found out that the rumors about me was that I put gerbils up my ass, and it's a rumor that has persisted his entire career, I don't know what I would do.
I would go to the pet store instantly and be caught buying gerbils. I'd have them on pets. I'd be like, "Oh, entertainment tonight. You want to interview me? Why don't you go to my place?"
You would lean
Blah, blah,
into
blah.
it. No, he would. You'd be like, listen, just to be clear, everyone.
I did not do that, and not that there's a problem with it. I mean, I guess if you like that, and I guess that's the thing.
I don't
you
think
can do
that
for sure. I didn't do that.
I didn't do that. I'm not doing that stuff. I'm not an animal guy.
But here's a picture of you going into a pet store. Yeah, I thought it'd be a good joke. I thought it'd be a good joke to follow up with. I didn't know, and then I backed out.
Just call me Todd Moat. Call me Todd Moat.
Also, fact checker from Jameson Kramer, they were hamsters.
They were hamsters. I thought it was gerbils. I think it's gerbils.
Gerbil feels right. Like it feels like
I know,
the
it
word
feels
gerbil
right.
is in your butt.
Insane. So what was your main takeaway from Dirty Dancing? Because I want to hear it from your perspective.
Well, my main takeaway was this: everybody in this movie is beautiful. They're all beautiful people. And if you've ever actually been to a summer camp, they're not all beautiful people. And I was like, when they start that first thing with all those people dancing upstairs, and they're like, could you imagine if the people downstairs saw us dancing like this? They're all amazing dancers. They're all very attractive to like whatever. Like they're not people you'd see at camp.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this would be hilarious to redo that scene with people that aren't the best dancers and just look like normal people. Because then you'd be like, imagine if downstairs saw this and you saw like the guys that just were like braces and like hot dog and be like,
Did you just say braces and hot dogs?
oh yeah. Well, immediately when this first happened, and it was like she first sees Patrick Swayze dancing and she just caught
Yeah.
when everyone else is dancing around her. I pictured your face in braces, just watching, being like, "Oh God, I would do so many things to that
Totally.
man."
Like, I think the reason, the reason I think so many, okay, I won't say women, like I'll say me. I think the first time I watched that movie was the first time I was like, what's this movie? Oh my God, I want to do bad things to that man. It's like the first time.
The one part, and I can't remember what it was, but it was very sexually charged. It was like one of these dance scenes where it was like, "Oh, this is what's happening."
What? The grinding scene?
My wife goes, "This is what we watched at sleepovers when I was a kid, and we didn't know what was happening." And I was like, "You're not talking about the movie. You're talking about that one scene."
Well, because
you guys just watched it on repeat.
Young guys talk about jerking off all the time. Like, hey, do you know that you're like, if you jerk your dick off, it's like amazing, and everyone's like, "Yo, sick, thanks, Tyler." Like you, like my
What's
like.
that? Yeah, it's fucking great, dude.
Well, every time, like now, hearing like friends or like partners tell me the story of like when they realized they could jerk off, like it was like you guys were sharing stories. Like you'd be like, "Hey, so Greg was saying last night he just started janking on his wang, and like it's awesome," and everyone's like, "Sick." And women,
My roommate Ted just puts it on the side of the toilet and rubs the top of it. Says it's amazing.
says it's amazing, Mahalo. You skate away on a
Because he said
skateboard.
that, and I was like, that never happens. And then I remembered one person literally told me that story, and I was like, what?
Yeah. So guys are like talking about like jerking off. So you guys are all horned up, but you're like, hey, like, FYI, dude, like this is how you can just like get back to neutral. Women, at least back in the day, I think now people are talking about it more, which is amazing. But like women weren't like, hey, so you're just so horny and you're just watching relationships, holding hands.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
everything he said, like he got so pissed at one point, and he's like,
Oh yeah.
I want your dad to put your arm around me like you did around Robbie. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
It's a class issue. It's not just about relationships. It's about classism. It's about like he's a blue collar worker and Robbie's just this like piece of full garbage trash fire idiot.
It's so black and white. They make it so perfectly black and white. But then when he's like, and then these women like to just throw money at me and
they're shoving diamonds in my pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, so you use them?
No, baby.
They use.
You don't get it. They use me.
And then she all of a sudden goes, you're right.
Yes, of course.
Let's sit up and kiss awkwardly.
I think because of my love for Dirty Dancing is why I've had sex with so many comedians with their mattresses on the floor. Because I'm like, I'll change you.
So every time you walk into their place, you're like, no, this is a nice room.
No, you're trying your best. And who am I
and they all go, what? We didn't say it was a bad room.
And I'm like, shh. Let me change you. Shh, let me change you. I love it. And what was the other one? Oh, I would say wholeheartedly, Baby's monologue in the cabin after the botched. And here's the thing: I'm going to jump all over the place because I must, and I shan't apologize.
I didn't note this up. I took Stacey's advice and no notes.
I think the thing that's amazing about this movie, the gender issues in it are clear. Baby barely talks in this movie. It's really just men speaking at her and her having to adapt, or her telling her what to do. Everyone's telling her what to do, but they tackle first of all, abortion, which back in the day, that's crazy. Yeah, and I was watching that at 7, and I just had no idea what was going on. But Penny getting the abortion, and it's so scary.
They handled it pretty tastefully.
But when he's he had a rusty knife and a fold out table, and you're like, oh my God, it's so dark.
Where's the movie about that guy that just goes around camp to camp with a rusty knife being like, I'm an MD, that's $250. Where's that guy's movie?
Hell yeah. I mean, that's a movie that sounds too spooky for me to watch, so I won't be watching that, but I don't want to be scared at night, I'm already scared every day because I have a woman's body, and I don't have control over it because the men have to tell me what to do with it. But yeah, it's kind of scary. And then when she looks so sick, and then the dad, she has to wake up her dad in the middle of the night, and oh my God, so stressful. But then I would say the best scene is when she's got the blue eyeshadow, she's becoming a woman, she knocks on his door, and then she goes, that full monologue of I'm scared of what I did, of what I am, of what I saw.
Right.
It's such a good one, and I think it's so relatable.
And I'm most scared of you leaving here and me never.
No, I'm scared of walking out of that door and never feeling the same way, the way I feel when I'm with you. And then he just stares at her.
And then she basically goes, take off your pants.
No, she doesn't. She goes, dance with me. Dance with me.
Which in this movie is their sex. So
yeah, that's it. Actually, first I thought it was the sexiest thing I've ever seen, but rewatching it this weekend, and again, I still think it's super sexy, but it's so funny that it goes on too long because they're just dipping each other like this for so long. They don't advance in any way.
Yeah, I also I get the point of the lift and how
it's trust.
That's supposed
it's
to
about
be.
Trust.
100%. It's about trust, commitment, and just giving it your all, but
giving it your all.
Just hanging in there tight, just walk it off. It's about that.
Reach for the stars. If you fall, you'll have a strong man kind of holding you from below. Women, try your best, but men will always be there to catch you and probably do the job the right way the first time. Yeah.
It's
what?
I was gonna say people look like ants from up here, but that's.
Oh my God, you can't have anything alcoholic on this show anymore.
Have nice things.
No, certainly.
But as I was watching that, I'm thinking of the people who are great dancers or whatever, and I'm like, yeah. She literally just stays there like a paper airplane for 15 seconds, and then he holds them up, and I'm like, this isn't that great.
No, don't you dare, because she does a whole number. What are you talking about? She's a bad dancer. She does that
I didn't say she was a
whole.
bad dancer. That they make that the crescendo of like the epitome of like what's amazing with
No, but it's
dancing.
her
I'm
like finding her own. She's come
I
into
know.
her own. And
And
here's a couple of things that are crazy. First of all, that he never goes, here's my phone number.
he doesn't have a phone. This is like 80. This is supposed to
50s.
be based in like 1963. People aren't passing out phone numbers. No one's carrying a cell phone.
I know, but it's
He
like,
doesn't have a phone in that
I
apartment
know,
with a
but
fucking bed like that. He doesn't talk to anybody on a phone.
I just think it's crazy that it's just understood where he's like, goodbye. And she's like, goodbye.
Well,
They're
as soon as
never,
it ended, I was like, yeah, but then the summer's over and they both go home and
yeah.
like, they'll never see each other again. And my wife was like, don't you dare.
Well, that's
Like,
true. I
this
mean,
is sacred. This movie is sacred to people. And they're like,
it
don't
is.
touch it.
It's perfect. It is perfect. I don't want anything else from these performances. They're amazing. First of all, I know that I was saying that you would play Todd Moat or the guy named Todd Moat, but I think that you would also be I would like to see you and I play the old pickpocketing couple. Oh, Jameson literally just
Jameson
said that in
already
the
brought it up.
chat.
That's why I started laughing. I was like, how do we not remember that?
Oh, I remember. The pickpocket couple is crazy. It looks like all of the wallets are like roped together. It makes no sense. And they're like, oh, my purse, my wife's purse. Get away from my purse.
I didn't notice that when it happened, but I was like, something happened here. Because when they picked up the purse, I was like, there's something going on. Why would they have this scene in there? Because it makes no sense.
Also, here's what's crazy to me. So Penny is like so sexy, right? Like she's such an incredible dancer. When she's like, poof, with her leg, and her leg just goes right up onto him. Oh my God. Hello. That dress, she's thin. Okay.
Yeah.
Wowie zowie. She's something.
There's a lot, like there is a lot to break down. Snake King's right too, by the way. The nobody puts baby in a corner when it happened. I was like, that's what people are. That to me was like, I don't know what the corner is.
He was
one.
well because no one like corners her in. No one tells her what to do anymore, and he was telling her that, which I just think is so funny. Hey, she thinks for herself. I do.
Come on.
Yeah, you do. Now stand up and get over here. Okay. Like,
follow me, grab my hand, do everything I do.
I think you're so smart. Don't go there. Come here.
I love how independent you are. Are you listening to me? Turn on your ears.
Hey. Stop talking like that. Come over here. I love you. Get over here. Dance like how I dance to the song I choose. No one puts you in a corner.
And the fight with Robbie went nowhere. Like when he beats up Robbie, first of all, no one really got beat up. They had like a little.
They had a nice tight jeans combat boot fight where just a lot of shaking, a lot of.
Because this was a guy that ended up in like Roadhouse, and then I'm like, that should have been a Roadhouse moment.
But here's the thing, Patrick Swayze. I think the reason a lot of women.
Where did this man come from? He can dance.
He's
beautiful.
He's
like
an
he's
angel
Keanu Reeves with dance moves, and like I was like, okay.
Well, Jameson says, did you catch the backhand he gives? I absolutely did. The one smack to Robbie. But I will say this. I think the reason that we love Dirty Dancing so much and we love Patrick Swayze is because Patrick Swayze is like softly, like he's like I don't think I was like sexually attracted to him, but he was presenting me safe sexiness. Like even
that's what I'm saying. Like it was like, I want to know your dad. I want him to like me too. I want to connect with you. I was
he's
like,
emotional.
This was yeah.
And he dances, right? So it's like, but like even in him in Roadhouse, he's not super badass. He's not like Steven Seagal wearing a duster going like, today everyone dies. Yeah, of course you haven't seen Roadhouse.
But going back to the fight, because I don't want to forget this, I don't totally remember the backhand, but what I do remember is the move that every like grade 3 boy does, where you put your hands together and you basically hammer on someone's back.
Oh yeah.
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 Because it's a full like WWE like wrestling move from like the 80s where they go.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
When I saw that, it brought me back to like childhood. I was like, that's my childhood. Just like fist together hammer throw.
Fist together hammer throw?
What do you call it? I don't know.
Fist together hammer throw. Okay. All right. You know what's really crazy, and I'm really sad I can't find it, but I'm going to download it again during this pod, is I had for a while, my backdrop to my computer was Roadhouse. Was this like 80s, like 3 pictures of Patrick Swayze? It was awesome. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
So is Patrick Swayze like like he was some, you said you didn't sexualize him as a child, but was he like a
As a
big,
child,
you
as
know
a
how some
teen.
girls were like JTT or like
Sure.
Justin Timberlake or something?
Yeah, but we
Was
weren't.
Patrick Swayze yours?
Oh yeah, many. I Patrick Swayze, like tons. But what I think is like girls, like I could be wrong, so I'll say me. My sexualization of these guys was like, oh, I can't wait for them to like dance with me and hold my hand. Like I'm not like
Yeah,
I wasn't like, hey, I
of
can't wait for
course.
him to have a boner. Like I was like, I didn't even wasn't even aware. So I think that this movie is
I
just
don't
like
think that wasn't a guy's thing at that age too, or maybe I was just naive, but like
I feel like you're naive.
maybe I wasn't walking around being like, because you weren't thinking about like, oh, we're actually going to like have sex or something. You were walking around being like, imagine we were holding my hand. Like that was guys too,
You're
but
so
just
sweet. I can't even handle it. I had this like one of my
I
students
think that's
once.
guys too, but they just flex like it's not like them.
Right. I'm also bummed about this movie in one way because, as you know, I can't really do impressions, but I can do one impression. But it is such a deep cut, and it is
Let's go.
of Baby's sister at the talent show. When she's like, hula, hula, hula. Thank you.
I was like the whole time. I'm like, is this supposed to be the comedic relief?
I think so, but her shorts
This
had a
character,
big
because
fish.
sometimes it was not.
Did you see the big fish on her shorts? She had a big fish on her vagine, on her shorts. I just thought that
I
was
didn't
funny.
notice that because like during that, I was like, I was trying to figure out if this was. I know the song was supposed to be funny, and you're like, oh, she's so terrible, and she's just singing at it.
Hula, 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 day,
But I'm like, she hasn't been really been the comedic. I didn't know what her role was in this because it was like
Well,
they
she's a
fight,
sister.
but right away she was like, "Baby, help me out. I'm gonna like go away, and you got to tell my dad I was this." But then when Baby goes to say, "Hey, tell dad I was this," she gets like, "What?" And I'm like, "Well, the relationship set up here is that they're on the same team,
But
helping
they're
each other out.
but they're
But now they're
evolving.
not,
No, but because they're sisters, so it's like Baby was a
so it's
baby and now she's
complicated."
becoming a woman and it's layered. Also, my favorite thing that Lisa ever says in the movie is when she looks at Baby and it's softly lit and she's and she looks at Baby and she goes, "Do you want me to brush your hair?"
I laughed out
Me
loud.
too.
There was a couple times where I laughed out loud, and my wife was like, "Don't."
That was okay. Brush your hair has always made me laugh so hard because I was like, that's what you say to someone you really are like. It's just like one of those awkward moments where someone's really sad and you just throw out something like an offering. Do you want me to brush your hair?
We have to add that into one of our office sketches for sure.
Yeah.
We've just had a fight or something.
I'm
over the
really
printer.
upset. I think I'm going to get
Over the printer.
fired. My presentation was so bad today. I think this is 3 strikes for me, Dale.
Do you want me to brush your hair?
What? Yeah, give me a second. I'll get my brush out of my purse. And you just come in your brush.
And then the boss comes over. What the fuck is happening? She had a bad day. She had a bad day, Dale.
Oh my God. Can I get you a sandwich? I mean, okay. I just finished eating, but no problem.
You guys know why you've been called into HR today? You guys are constantly brushing each other's hair.
Well, it's hard here. We're trying to change the
Massage
world.
circles with 2 people doesn't even work out. I don't know how you're doing that.
Well, we spin. We spin.
That it was great that you gave us these chairs that rotate because massage circles have been the greatest.
What's funny is that sketch, like, there's nothing sexual about it at all. It is just about caring. What I also love about Dirty Dancing, and if you haven't watched this movie, the reason I recommend it so much, and I'd be curious what everyone thinks in the chat, but the soundtrack is unbeatable. And this movie has like, I think 4 full montages or more. But the
Yeah.
music
Well,
is
there was
incredible.
points where I was like, "Oh, this is just a long music video," because it would literally go from one song with them dancing, and there wouldn't even be a beat, and it would bleed into another song, and they would start dancing over here, and I was like, "This is just about Dirty Dancing."
My favorite is when they're practicing. Baby's barely wearing a t-shirt. She's sweaty, very tanned.
Yeah.
So is Patrick. And then he's like, "Ugh," and then he hurts his back. And he's like, "I've had it." And she's like, "Well, let's get out of here." And then he breaks the window to his own song is playing, like, "This whole road." And he's like, boom.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they get in the car and
My
she's
wife pointed that out too. The second it started, she's like, "This is when he sings his own song," and I was like, "I remember."
then all of a sudden she's like, "You're wild." And he's like, "What? You're wild." Like, I'm going crazy.
And he's like, yeah. And
Yeah.
like there was that point in the car when she was changing, and they had like you could tell like they didn't sync up well as actors in that part when he was like trying to catch her in the video, and she's like, "Don't look at me,"
She
because they
wasn't
both
like that.
did it.
She
They did
wasn't.
the motion in their head of like, "Don't look," but I'm like, he hasn't even looked yet. But like, it was weird. Uh, what was I getting at? There was a point to this. Oh, because he's already like basically they've been groping each other for 2 weeks.
No, they haven't
He
been
went in the
groping each other.
water and basically
Jason,
like she was basically wearing nothing in the water. I'm like,
Jason,
and now you're trying to get peaks,
Johnny
which was
Castle
kind of
respects the craft. Okay. They weren't groping each other, they were dancing. Okay. Now, I also want to
oh,
just,
they weren't groping each other in that
no,
water. Like they it looked like they come like really close to kissing like 8 times
they were
because you're like
slowly
that's what it's
falling in
supposed to.
love. No, he would never disrespect. He would never cross
She
the
does look
line.
like she ages in this movie. Like they make her
Well, they
become a
sex
woman.
her
Like
up. I mean, look, it's like Sandra D, right? You have to go through that whole Sandra D. I'm not a girl, not yet a woman. Wait, I guess I'm a woman now. My titties are out. Okay, so that's the movie we all like. We like, we all start in a denim onesie, and then we become a woman. This goes off, full boobs out. I'm wearing a leather jacket. Okay, that's the Stacey McGonigal story. When you see me out, boobs out.
this is your weekend.
Oh my God, I don't think I'll fit into my leather jacket after this weekend. I'm going to be like Chris Farley in a little jacket.
Oh my god.
What? Did you even
I'm
listen
trying
to
to
me?
remember when you said bust out the window. I was like, there was something going on in my head, and it wasn't about busting windows at frat parties, but I was like, there was something going on to that because I thought, like, why do people love that? He just went straight to like, I'm gonna kick out this post and bust in this window.
Because
And I
it's
was like,
raining. He's over it. He wants
oh,
to.
I know what I was gonna say.
Okay.
This came back to me quickly when his song came on. I was like, the first like, I think my first kiss was to the Dirty Dancing soundtrack. So
That's amazing. What song?
that song,
Hungry Eyes?
Patrick Swayze song, but we were playing the Dirty Dancing.
No,
soundtrack
Patrick
in the
Swayze's
basement.
song is She's Like the Wind. No? She's like the
Yeah.
wind
Yeah.
in my dreams. And it was like
We
playing
had
on the
a
radio.
this is how terrible it was. It was so stupid. I think we were in like grade 7 or 8, but my friend had like a slow dance party in his basement.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say slow dance party, it was my friend and his girlfriend, her friend and me.
Yeah, you guys
He was
party.
just this guy that was like basically already smoking and being like, I'm gonna set this bitch shit up. And I'm like,
Flying
you're in grade 7,
dirty.
dude.
Dude, I couldn't give it away. I'm jealous. I wish I was invited to a slow dance party. I would have freaking grinded on a pillow if it was there.
But I just remember being like, I didn't know that I liked this girl, but I guess this is the girl I like because
Oh,
I got
yeah.
introduced today
That's
and we're supposed to kiss.
That's like the really funny thing when you're like in grade school, I guess, and someone's like, "You like that? You like him?" And I'm like, "I guess I do." You know what? Like
I
I
thought it was
was
love over here, but
I was made fun
No,
of. Everyone like a huge joke in small town, rural, whatever was like everyone called me a lesbian, and there was this like,
that was the huge small town joke.
"You're lesbian." I was like, "I wish." Like I was just like a kid
Then I
being
wouldn't
like,
have to put up with your shit.
"Yeah, this would be the best." And like, I was just like, "Okay, well, let's find a cool chick because like I guess I'm a lesbian." So then I remember like being like, "Am I?" And just like being at basketball practice, being like, could I be in love with any of these beautiful women here?" If
Karen,
only
can you come here and try something out for a second? I just want to kiss you for a second because
everyone's been calling me a lesbian like it's a bad thing, but I think your layups are sick, and I hope if we kiss, magic arrives. I respect you. I love your ponytail, thick hair.
I really think you set the pace of the layup drill, and I'm really excited about it.
I mean, you have a beautiful hair texture that I can only dream about. Soft hands. You're always giving me lotion and stuff whenever I need it. And anyways, I hope we fall in
Introduced me to
love.
Fruit Loops, Fruit Roll-Ups, and Fruit Loops, and
Oh my God.
all the things that are supposed to be fruit.
You always eat Captain Crunch, no milk, just snack in a Ziploc bag. Anyways, I'm going to go in for a big old smooch, and if you feel so inclined, I guess let's fall in love. I wish.
Jen says you paint your teenage self as such a Tina Belcher.
I was. Full on.
Also, Bob's right. Is that the lyric? She's like the wind through my trees, or is it dreams?
Oh, she's like the wind. Oh my God. First of all, through the trees makes sense. And that makes me laugh because I don't think I've ever sang that. I thought it was in my dreams. I almost
She's
don't want to
my
look it up.
I feel her breath in my face.
Her body close to me. Can't look in her eyes. She's out of my
She's out of my
league.
league.
Just a fool to believe I had anything she needs.
I feel like that was me just singing about a teacher in like grade 9 for sure.
Well, it makes me think of the story about you having to run around.
Miss Tesserolo?
That's so
I know.
wrong.
No, I don't have my homework done. I just wanted to. I feel like I needed to sing a song to you this morning.
Continue. Okay, Jason. If
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Waller. Could you leave us alone for a second?
well, I'm not done my sandwich, but okay.
You're like the wind through my tree.
I hate it.
But then she gets right into it, and you're nose to nose. Feel the breath in my face.
Your body close to me.
Did you get your homework done? Can't look in her eyes.
I'm still figuring it out. I'm getting tutoring after school, so it's gonna be a little late. You're out of my league.
I'm gonna have to make you repeat the year. That means I just get to see you more. You're out of my league.
Jan says, "Can you guys please sing this at my wedding?" And absolutely no problem. Jason and I will be wearing matching outfits. I also love the montage.
Will they have huge shoulder pads?
Yes, of course. Are we wearing wigs that connect at the back? Of course.
Are we basically Jan Hook's characters back from Saturday Night Live? No problem.
No problem.
Nora Dunn, Jan Hooks. It's the two of us.
I also really love. She wants the Dumb and Dumber tuxedos. They're already ordered.
Done. And guess what? We'll still look like Nora Dunn and Jan Hooks somehow.
Thank you for those references. For all of our young viewers, I get it. He is lame.
No problem. Living my truth. She's out of my league.
Just a fool to believe I had anything she needs. She's like the wind. I miss that part of music. Yeah. But I really liked when they're at the dance studio and they're like...
Which time?
When she's in the white shirt and it's the cover of the movie and it's like... when they're lip syncing that song. It's very fun.
I was about to say, this is when I literally said out loud, what is happening?
When it's like, baby, oh, baby.
Because you know what? In high school, we all knew this couple and we all thought they're the stupidest.
Yeah, but you were like, they're the stupidest because you'd go home and just like yank your chain for 9 hours and be like, no problem. This is my girlfriend. And I'd be like, wow, I have to destroy them from the inside out. How does mama get a piece?
I walked into art class today and Julie and Bob were lip syncing to each other this song from across the room. Everyone thought it was so romantic, but I puked.
I puked. Hey, did you guys hear about Todd Moat? Yeah, he walked into the art room. And he saw Johnny Castle and Baby smooching and he puked. That's such a Jason thing of
Johnny Castle's grandfather pretty much works side by side with my grandfather. Castle and Moat.
That and Todd Moat goes up.
Dave and Todd Moat.
Just see Todd Moat in the hallways of the high school going, "Hey, Johnny Castle, you know, you think you're all great. You're just like in a full suit."
Todd Moat is Ducky to Johnny Castle's Andrew McCarthy.
That's insulting because Ducky's cool as all shit and Todd Moat.
No kidding.
No, but Todd Moat's
Did you
not
watch Some
cool.
Kind of Wonderful yet?
No.
Get on it.
Oh my God. Wow. I love you telling me what to do.
That was my Patrick Swayze impression.
No, Swayze
Nobody
wouldn't.
put Stacy in a corner. Did you watch that? Go watch Some Kind of
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay. Well, I got my iPad. I'll have to be in the corner to watch it.
What's an iPad? It's 1963.
Everyone hates this in the chat. It's just gone quiet. This is how it ends. I
We
will
got our own URL.
URL, the regulars. I will say the thing I love about this movie though is like it's a really it's like it feels uplifting. Like it makes you feel things. Like I feel like we overthink the simplicity of like what audiences want. Like the music is so good. It feels like you're watching a party. You're always entertained. Every time you watch Dirty Dancing, I can guarantee you're like, what song is that? And you download it or you put it on your Spotify. And it's so sick. And it's like, you know, they get together and it's like, it's simple.
I agree, because there's this one part at the end when Baby and Patrick Swayze are finally like, or Johnny Castle's finally dancing on stage to like end the season, which was so.
At
Another part that was like when he
Kellerman,
came on
we
stage,
come
I thought that was hilarious. After
together.
nobody put Baby in a corner, and he gets
Yeah.
up there and he's like, "I got something to say." I was like, "Where did everybody go?"
What do you mean?
Like, what this manager was just talking about how it's the end of an era, and then this guy comes up and goes, "I'm stealing the spotlight," and he just disappears.
Well, what are you going to do?
Where's
What
the,
are you going to do
hey,
to that?
buddy, we fired you.
You're right. That full melting troll is going to go, hey, don't touch that. Don't touch my record player.
Well, Todd Moat was right behind him. He would have been like, excuse me.
Hey,
I'm singing a song here.
our grandparents work together. I also will say this, and this is maybe a random note to bring up near the end of the podcast, but my biggest issue with this movie, like watching it back, is like, so Penny doesn't want to have, so Penny has an abortion. Her choice, it doesn't work out, then she's healthy. And I'm like, did they feel like to endear her to the audience, they then had to remove any sexuality from her? Like you never see her dancing again. And then she becomes this like Puritan and like this like God
they take her makeup off. They make her hair like not done up at all. They just put
well,
her,
it's not like
she's
loose and wild and like how like beautiful she was. It's now like pulled back and like demure little like cool. Her outfits are amazing even at the end. Like that red shoulder like blouse is incredible. But they just make her like so pure where she's like, "Thank you, doctor."
It's Romeo and Juliet.
What?
This is why I'll say that.
We're going on a walk.
Her dad tells her at the beginning of the movie, "You stay away from those people. You never talk to them again." And then at one part, after they've had sex for the first time,
Oh God!
and they show up in Penny's room, Penny goes, "What are you doing? You have to end this right now because you told us never to get involved with that side of the thing." It's Romeo and Juliet. I just figured it out.
Well, Penny got together with Robbie. Well, I guess they work together. Robbie's such a loser. And when he goes, "Hey, read the Fountainhead," it's like, shut
But it's like
up.
the guests and everything are like this elite group that you don't talk to. They're like the Capulets, and then there's the Montagues, and they're just the people that are like the dancers, and they run the place and everything else.
I don't know if I would relate it to Romeo and Juliet.
I just did.
Because I'm sure if Romeo and Juliet could have at least grinded a little bit, they would have maybe not been like, "Hey, let's fake a death," you know?
Oh, that's how this movie should have ended. Maybe there's this Dirty Dancing. There is a Dirty Dancing too, isn't there?
Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. There's a Dirty Dancing Havana Nights, which is so good. It's Diego Luna. It's like it's just a whispered hint to the original. I think Patrick Swayze's in it for 3 seconds, but the dancing is so good. The remake with Abigail Breslin, I refuse to even acknowledge exists. So they tried to redo it. It quickly went away because it pales in comparison to the raw sensuality of the original. And I like can't and shan't hear it. There's, I guess, also a TV show, and there's also a musical, which I refuse to go to. I like it packaged the way that it is. Also, we have to talk about.
I think we should remake this movie with people that aren't beautiful and can't dance very well, and then like
there's
play
something
as best as we possibly can.
There's something perfect about the way that like I don't want it in HD. Like I like that it kind of has that sheen on it. It has.
I don't know if you know this.
What?
Bob just said it's a TV show too.
I just said that. I don't remember it being a TV show. Maybe because I refuse to acknowledge it. But like, I just like the 80s vibe a bit. I kind of miss 80s movies. Like Molly Ringwald, like John
You weren't
Cryer.
saying that during Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
No, I still like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I was just like, it was never one of my favorite movies. I think because I had brothers and they got everything they wanted while I had to do the dishes. So I was like, screw this freaking guy having the best day of his life. I want one.
You are Jennifer Grey.
I know. And I would have been like, you're going to jail. I'm calling the cops. You're going to jail. When I'm not in a room with you, I don't think about you. Jennifer Grey. What's so crazy though is just like, yeah, I love like I liked how people looked in the 80s. Like it's just cooler. Everyone was cooler, you know?
Yeah. Well, the 80s were just like,
Now everyone's so
I think the goal
goddamn.
of it was like everybody have fun.
Yeah, but
Everyone's
also,
wearing neon and we're just gonna have fun.
but also like the people that you had like that were heartthrobs like wouldn't be heartthrobs now, which sucks. There's not like interesting looking people, you know?
What are you talking about? Because they were all like, are you talking about like
Well,
Kirk Cameron again?
I refuse to even acknowledge Kirk Cameron on this podcast. I can't. No, full no. No, Kirk.
That's fair.
Ugh, he's gross. No, but like Jennifer Grey like felt pressure to get a nose job, and then everyone was really upset. It like changed her whole look. And like Patrick Swayze, like it's so amazing to see a guy who like can dance and perform, and we're like, hell yeah. And he was like, you know, and we were like, that's sexy, that's manly, that's amazing. Like I think that's like a huge feat.
He walked around with that cummerbund of a waist, like thin ass waist, this whole movie, and I was
bitch. Like, snack, dessert is served. He had to do that jump like a million times, and he had hurt himself dancing, and he was like so professional and really like gave it every time. And that's a huge jump. And apparently remember the apparently kid? apparently my second impression I don't know how to do.
yeah, where is that kid? I want to know where
Oh,
that
I
kid's
hope
at.
he's okay. Apparently my grandpa and I
Apparently I was on Ellen at one point in my life.
Apparently Ellen wants me to be on the show, and apparently I hope he's doing okay. But he looked at the director and was like, I've got one more in me. Like I can just do one more jump. And I think that's the one they used. Is the last jump. Off the stage onto the ground. Yeah.
Well, that's getting to what I was talking about before with like, you were like, this movie just makes you feel good. When she was getting towards that lift part, there was one part just before Patrick Swayze goes to the back and brings all the dancers up, and they start dancing, and then all the people at the back start being like, yeah. And there's that one girl scream that is kind of like a Willem scream of sorts. It feels like it's used all the time when it's like, there's a party going on, and it's like, woo! I was like, feels good.
Feels good. It's such a party show or movie, and I just think it tackles like a lot of things that I don't think movies are really like going into. I just think it was kind of brave. Oh yeah, I just saw it in the chat. Now Stacey and Jason are both on a walk. Well, we're celebrating, baby. We lose. It's a mixed bag. We got a URL. We got a movie. We'll get our shit together for tomorrow.
We're on this walk, but we're in the forest, and we'll.
But it's nice. Remember forests? Remember going on a walk and not having to run home? It's nice. Well, Jay, do we have anything else to say? Because we've kind of come to the end of the pod.
If you want to jump on this week, I know we're going to talk to Nigel Downer at one point.
We've got Nigel coming. We're going to talk The Last Dance.
So
if you want to catch up on that.
Stacey, did in Canada it might be a bit different. I watched the next 2 episodes last night. I
don't know if they were out, but I think they're out today, but I'm really excited to watch them. If you're not into sports and are looking for something, oh my God, before we go. Okay. Shayla, thank you for reminding me. I was given something by one of our listeners, the lovely Shayla.
I saw what she wrote, but I don't know what you're pulling up.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pull something up before the end because I must. Okay, let me see here.
Oh my God.
What?
Well, everybody watch Last Dance.
Okay, so
even if you're not into sports, it's just like, it's pretty, it's good.
It is really good.
All they're doing is they're introducing you to all the characters that were involved in that year. That's why Scottie Pippen was in that one, but now you're going to start to see the other people too.
I know, I'm excited. And I also did a huge deep dive on Michael Jordan, and I found like not really great things. And I don't know if I should surprise you with the information or talk off screen to see what we want to unpack.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to transition because I have a dumb little story that is a gift from our listener, Shayla. And okay, so she said it's a heartwarming kind of dumb story. I think made for the regulars.
Perfect.
M&M donated 400 portions of mom's spaghetti to frontline workers.
I love
of
this.
2 Detroit hospitals. Eminem donated cups of mom's spaghetti to these Detroit hospitals.
I think that is amazing.
So
That's
Union Joints
amazing.
in Clarkston prepared the food while the donation was made by Eminem's Marshall Mathers Foundation. The cups of spaghetti had a logo branded onto them, plus a message to the workers. It says, "Thank you, frontline caregivers." He goes, "Our healthcare
Oh,
heroes lost themselves in the delicious mom spaghetti donated
I
by
don't even want to
Detroit."
make jokes about it because it's like, what about the carb diets and stuff like that? I don't even want to
The
get into it because
carb
it's like, I
diets. Oh my God. It's so classic you to think this. Shut up.
I know, but that's what I think this is a heartwarming story. This is heartwarming, like more
Right.
than Dirty Dancing to
So
me.
then the healthcare system tweeted out or on their Instagram page after and said, "Our healthcare heroes lost themselves." Because you're going to lose yourself, lost
Yeah,
themselves in the delicious mom spaghetti donated by Detroit's very own Eminem.
that writer just went through like every album of his and looked at the titles and be like, what can I get in this story? What puns can I make?
100%.
Stan. They couldn't stand how big of fans they are of this mom
Oh,
spaghetti.
mile 1, mom spaghetti. Mile 2, mom spaghetti. Mile 3, mom spaghetti. My neighbor must think I'm nuts just screaming mom spaghetti. Okay, well, thank you, Shayla. And if you are listening or you're in the chat and watching, if you have dumb stories, please send it to us at our Instagram, The Regulars Podcast. We love to have them. And I will say it's welcomed with open arms. We love
Yeah.
these funny things. So,
I have a bunch of them on the burner anyway, so like we got to get to these
well,
eventually
good,
at some
because
point.
tomorrow
But
I'd like to talk about Saturday Night Live, which I watched because they were doing a bunch of stories, and I was like, "How is Jason not finding any of these stories?"
what are you talking about?
They had a bunch of dumb stories, and I'm like, "None of these."
You mean like on the news? They always do. Like
I know, but I was like,
on
but none of their stories involved Guinness Book of World Records or George Clooney pranks.
so they're not as good as what you're saying.
Perfect. Well,
What
everyone.
about Fauci telling them had to tell a 7-year-old that the tooth fairy can't get the virus? Good? No good.
No, well,
Okay.
don't spew them out now. We're at the end of the
I
pod.
didn't like that one, so I spoiled it.
I liked that one. That's unfortunate. You spoiled it.
Spoiled.
Spoiled. Okay, well, a couple of things. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. We wouldn't again, we always thank you so much, and like we mean it from the bottoms of our hearts. It means so much. We love doing this. We love having you in the chat. We love that our community is growing, and we're so happy that we now have an official URL to tell friends very quickly. YouTube.com/the regulars. You can also tell your friends. If you're listening to this, guess what? We go live weekdays 12:30 Eastern time PM, 12:30 PM Eastern time. That was easy to say. So you can check out our YouTube and check out past episodes or join us live. Like we had a bunch of new people today. So nice. Jason, anything else?
I think that's it. We got that. We'll probably have Adam. I think Adam Colley's coming on this week if you want to know about
huge
being
one on
healthy, 'cause
Thursday.
that guy's healthy as can be.
He's going to take like our favorite snacks and turn them healthy, or like really great healthy substitutes, which I definitely need after this weekend. Also, if you're listening to this and or watching it, hey, guess what? You can like it. And that would be so, if you're here and you had a good time, just liking it would just mean the world to us. So do that. And anything else, Jay?
The only other thing is, you know that Casual Friday's coming back, so get ready to talk about an A&W deep dive.
All right.
And that's it.
We will see you all tomorrow. Have the best time. We adore you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.